what Elon is doing with Tesla. Like he keeps cutting prices down as like they're able to cut the prices of manufacturing.
Right.
I'm like, wow, that is actually insane because that's only going to compound and snowball. Like people are seeing that. So they're like, wow, cars are getting cheaper. Whereas with inflation, every other car company is doing the complete opposite. Like they're
Complete
getting more
opposite.
expensive.
In manufacturing, that people don't understand right on the outside is that, we have a lot of overhead to pay for that warehouse. For example, we're spending $40,000 a month, man, on rent. If there's not a certain volume of orders that's coming in every single month, we're losing money. It's the same thing with like Tesla's gigafactory. It's like they have to make sure that production is ongoing. And so one of the best ways to do that is to increase demand by cutting your prices, of course. So they would rather be busier, have their hands full with more volume and get less revenue per car that they sell. And it makes sense. If you're really tight on funds, you don't even need to put a marketing budget. If you have some money, you can put 10, 15, $20 a day. And with Etsy, you're not paying for views, you're paying for clicks specifically. And so, I think that is single-handedly the easiest
Wow.
way to scale up e-commerce, without having to learn how to build a website, how to do paid advertising, all of these things, which are very difficult and advanced for beginners.
Mm-hmm.
So that, yeah, that would be my answer for sure, man.
That's a good one. I mean, no, I don't talk enough about Etsy, but I totally see Etsy as like a massive platform with a lot of potential for people. I mean, it kind of the culture of Etsy is like small businesses, anyways.
Yeah,
So it's like that's what people are there to do is support small businesses. So if you're a beginner, it actually does make a lot of sense to start there, especially with print on demand. So when it comes to your canvases and things that you guys manufacture, do you guys have like a minimum quantity or minimum type of requirement, I guess, for people to work with?
yeah. So for us specifically, because like, Printful, Printify, and all of them, they make it so easy to just jump on the platform, upload a design, and be able to like go on your way. Um, we find it very difficult to compete with them.
Yeah.
So one thing that we specialize in is customer service, number one, because we're not automated. Like we have like a human at the door ready to service all of your needs. And then number two is pricing. So all these other platforms, because of their automations, investors, they have to price like way higher than what it actually costs to make these products. So we get to come in and we get to pretty much beat them across the board on pricing. So what that means, like when you take that customer service component, the pricing, we work exclusively with people that are really doing high volumes already.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll connect with them. Let's say there's a brand on Shopify that's selling 50 canvas prints a day. We'll go up to them and we'll take over 100% of their volume, do everything from our warehouse, give them prices to a point where they're saving like $1,000 a day on
Right.
cost of goods. And so it benefits them huge. They have an account rep that they can speak to every single day regarding any orders, any problems, and usually they'll just connect their teams with our customer service, and they're on their way. So yeah, usually we do work with clients that are already getting at least a handful of orders already, in canvas prints, acrylic prints, neon signs, embroidery, things like that.
Wow. So that's kind of the perfect scaling system then, because it's kind of like the way I see it, at least in the dropshipping world, it's you're testing a product, let's say on AliExpress, and then you cut out AliExpress and you just literally talk to a agent and they cut your
Yep,
prices, but you need to be doing like 50 orders a day to get to that
of
point.
course.
But you actually end up scaling more profitably, which allows you to scale even more. So in the canvas world, that would be perfect. If you could start with Printful, let's say zero risk, it is
Right.
more expensive, so that kind of sucks. It's going to be hard to scale. But once you get the proof of concept, then you transition into something like with what you're doing at your company and cut your prices so that you can scale and get probably a higher quality service too.
And I actually recommend exactly what you're saying. Like, if someone's beginning, starting off, like you don't particularly have to go for like the lowest price supplier that you can find. At that point, it's not so necessary for you to put so much energy and effort into that. It's better to just try to prove concept, even at break even. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's okay if you're not making any money, because that if you're even able to scale it at break even, you're able to go ahead and negotiate once you get the volume, get the prices down, and then you're able to make that profit or take it home, whichever way. So I actually stand by that as well, man.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me a little bit of like what Elon is doing with Tesla. Like he keeps cutting prices down as like they're able to cut the prices of manufacturing.
Right.
I'm like, wow, that is actually insane because that's only going to compound and snowball. Like people are seeing that, so they're like, wow, cars are getting cheaper. Whereas like with inflation, every other car company is doing the complete opposite. Like they're
Complete
getting more
opposite.
expensive. So it's
And one
like,
thing,
damn.
like in manufacturing, that people don't understand right on the outside is that, we have a lot of overhead. Like to pay for that warehouse, for example, we're spending $40,000 a month, man, on rent. And so, like, if there's not a certain volume of orders that's coming in every single month, we're losing money.
Right.
And so it's the same thing with like Tesla's gigafactory. It's like they have to make sure that production is ongoing.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the best ways to do that is to increase demand by cutting your prices, of course. So they would rather be busier, have their hands full with more volume and get less revenue per car that they sell. And it makes sense. Like it's totally viable. So I fully understand why he's doing it.
Wow. No,
Dude's on
that's so cool.
another dimension.
Yeah,
bro.
he's literally on a whole other level.
Yeah.
Like that's gonna be $1 trillion company, or it already kind of is. But
it is, I think, right? Yeah,
yeah.
it's crazy, man.